as you know, as I've told you before, and as I've shared multiple times during the podcast, I would have no agenda in particular about the podcast episode. But something that always struck me with the seminars I've attended that you've presented is your level of authenticity and how comfortable you are in showing who you are. So I get that feeling that you're very authentic as a person, and
Yes.
I respect you a lot for it. How, and I'm sure that because of that, you might have faced some challenges about it. How do you remain authentic in the face of criticism?
That's a very good question. I, I think I find it very hard not to be myself because it is who I am. I'm very open. Even when I'm on stage, I present a lot of events. But to be honest, the feedback I get is they tell me somehow you get away with it. So
You do.
but I think I rely on that. But yes, there were people who criticized me. There were people who were concerned. I remember once this person came up to me. I was addressing a very big conference. And again, I was being the usual Roz, And at the time, I was in politics. And this person came up to me and she said, it's great you like this, but don't you think, this may impact... I said nothing wrong or anything. I said nothing scandalous. It was just being funny, just a bit of an icebreaker. And I said, no. I said, because if people don't like me and for who I am, then they just don't choose me. At the end of the day, it's a choice, no? Especially in politics, people choose for you to represent them or they choose for you not to represent them. So, no, I've always... To be honest, Daniel, I'm sure there has been criticism not in my face because people not always have the courage to come and tell you in your face.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I like being true to myself. This is who I am. And again, as much as you tell me, yes, you're honest and you represent how you are, there are times when I am a bit more cautious. So there are times maybe I'm not 100%. For example, I'm very loud. I'm a very loud person.
Maltese people.
No, but I'm loud. I admit it. And my partner had really brought it to my attention. It was a criticism not in a destructive way, right? It was more like, listen, because
Tone it down a bit.
Tone it down a bit. And in the beginning, I used to feel really offended, like, don't dim my switch, don't dim my light, kind of thing, this kind of reaction. But then I actually read about it then, because I'm very much the kind of person, I love Google, I go and ask and check and read and learn how And I said, yes, I said at the end of the day, if it's something which makes him feel uncomfortable, like sometimes I feel uncomfortable maybe with the way he is, it's out of love that they tell you, listen, in the situation, maybe you could have been a bit not so loud, or you could have not laughed so much, and you have, again, that's something I learned. Before I used to be I'm very sensitive, believe it or not. I'm very sensitive and I get offended and I get hurt. But then I learned to take it on board, process it and say, maybe yes, I can be better in these situations. So yes, of course you do get criticized. And you get criticized, don't forget, my job, I am always acting against somebody.
Yeah.
So the person... as much as possible, even the person against me, I try to bring on board and try to get, I'm not, as much as I'm a lawyer and I'm a fighter, I try as much as possible to find amicable solutions. But I'm sure probably after the meeting they say, oh gosh, who the hell does she think she is? I don't know. I would think they might say it. I don't know.